Presenting today under the topic, Getting into Your Own Harvard, are the founders of an extraordinary Cambridge-based group called Veritas Tutoring, both graduates of Harvard College. They have quite literally written the book on helping parents and students navigate the arduous task of getting through the college placement process. It is my pleasure to introduce the founders of Veritas Tutoring, Mr. Andrew Magliozzi and Mr. Jay O'Connor. Thank you.
But thank you, Jim, for the warm welcome, kind words of introduction. It's really our pleasure to be here today to share a little bit of our expertise about admissions and navigating the high school academic process.
So Andrew and I founded Veritas Tutors about 5 years ago. Since then, we've conducted more than 10,000 tutoring lessons. We help students with subject tutoring, test prep, and admissions consultation. Most of the people we hire are affiliated with Harvard in some way. Excellent tutors, and we work with students, parents, teachers, and school administrators to coordinate and provide personalized attention and help for our students.
We've also run a number of seminars just like this one, dozens in fact, and we've given students across the board a different perspective on just how to improve their chances to get in the best possible school for them. But before doing that, let's share a bit about who we are. It's an old photograph. So you might find this hard to believe. We too were once high school students applying to college.
And it was hard then, and it's even harder now, as you guys know. For that reason, we're here to help you navigate and take the guesswork out of getting into your Harvard.
Yeah, we want to give you students the advice that we wish someone had given us. After graduating from Harvard and founding a tutoring company, we've worked with countless students to provide them the best educational opportunities. So,
Andrew's also been a Harvard admissions interviewer as well.
Oh, and I've also had the opportunity to work with an unbelievable staff at Veritas. We've had former admissions officers from Brown and Yale working with us, while Jay has been responsible for developing an incredible SAT curriculum that we use for all of our students.
So, in short, we know the game, and we're here to tell you a little bit about it and help you take the chance out of your path to your Harvard.
So what is your Harvard? It's the title of this presentation. I should clarify it a little bit. It's sort of that dream school that everybody has in mind, but it's within your grasp, but far from a guarantee.
And don't worry, we won't be mad if you say you want to go to Yale or any other school. We've worked with students and helped them get into almost every different type of school, from culinary school to music school to design school to huge schools, small schools. Every type of school. Yeah,
so the basic premise is that the best school based on the U.S. News and World Report rankings is not necessarily the best school for you. Though Jay and I both went to Harvard, I would honestly say that the school wasn't the best place for me, at least my freshman and sophomore year. And I just wish someone had given me the prospective advice and helped me understand the choice I was making. And even if I ended up making the same decision, I would have liked to go in with a better sense of information and preparedness for freshman year.
Yeah, well, one of the things that students don't realize is that there's schools out there for almost everyone. And it's not just the name brand that's important. I, too, probably, had I known, wouldn't have gone to or applied to the schools that I applied to. I just picked them out of a book and said, okay, this is where I'm going to apply to. There's a lot more to it than that, and you can benefit a lot more than by doing just that. So that's what we're here to share with you.
And basically we're helping you sort of discover your passions, what you're interested in, and what sort of interests you'd like to cultivate going forward. There's pretty much a school dedicated to anything you'd like to do when you grow up. It's just a matter of finding the right one and looking inward mostly to answer the questions about yourself that we don't always ask.
So we want to start off with what's called a mantra. It's something that we want you guys to actually internalize and remember, so we're going to say many, many times throughout this presentation. We want you to repeat after us. So discover what you love to do, and strive to be excellent at it.
All right, that was enthusiasm. I like that. Well, we'll say it a few more times. I mean, figure out what I love to do and being excellent. I mean, if you think about it, that's really good life lesson. It helps you get into college, but most importantly, it'll help you live a fulfilled, successful life. If you're doing what you love, you'll be passionate, engaged, and it won't even seem like work. So we can move on to the next slide.
All right, so one of the myths out there is that to get into the best school that you want to go to, the top school for you, you need to have perfect scores and perfect grades. Now, those can't hurt, but let's read this quote. My friend applied to MIT from Korea. He attended high school in the U.S. since 9th grade and received an education for geniuses. This is a quote from College Confidential. It's a site where students share their admissions experiences. He did a ton of volunteering. He received an International Mathematics Olympiad medal, and he got a perfect score of 2,400 on the SAT. I'm pretty sure that he also got straight A's, and he still got rejected from MIT. Now, for MIT, you can plug in Harvard, Yale, Princeton, you can plug in University of Southern California, you can plug in University of Florida, University of Virginia, you can plug pretty much any school in there. It's not just your grades and scores that count.
So, to explain why this student get in is sort of difficult. I can't obviously tell you exactly why without seeing the whole application, but I presume if you looked at it, you'd notice some problems, perhaps with the essays or recommendations or even the interview. And oftentimes, the problems with an application aren't necessarily the things that are there, it's the things that go unsaid. Perhaps this student seems a little bit robotic and unrealistic, right? Who gets perfect scores on everything and has really nothing wrong with them? Perhaps that's the problem that shined through in the application. You know, the things that you expect to hear about a student like that will hopefully give them a rounded character, and maybe the student appeared flat or unengaged in life with his peers or something to that respect. So it's hard to say exactly, but we want to give you the understanding that it's a holistic feel for the application. It's not only about numbers and grades.
Yeah, so let's take a look at something about the competition here. So if you take Harvard as an example, we're in Harvard Square, so we know Harvard. That's why we're using it. There were 30,000 applicants in 2009 for 2,100 spots, 6.3% rate of admission. Now that is the most competitive in the country, but that's not too much different than a lot of the schools that you guys may want to apply to in addition to schools like Harvard. So why?
Well, actually, there's been a huge increase in the number of applicants. Actually, Jay and I were lucky. When we applied in 2001, I think there were about 15 or 16,000 applicants. So it's really, the application pool has doubled for the exact same number of spots. So it's really doubled in competitiveness. And basically, there are just more competitive applicants out there. More people from all across the country realizing gunning for seats in top colleges. There are more international students applying every year. And also, the digital offerings with the Common Application online allow you really just to lather, rinse, repeat, and with an extra button, send your application all around the world. So students are applying more fervently than ever.
So it's even more important that you're able to distinguish yourself from all of those other applications that are going in, and we're going to tell you how.